Hello everyone, it's Annette Green here. I am back again, and it is week 4 in 2024 where I am sharing a new craft project of some sort every week in the year of 2024. And today I thought it would be fun to play with the Gelli-plate. I just received this Perfect Borders little kit that has this smaller size Gelli-plate and this frame to help you create simple, small little designs for 5x7 cards. So that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to decorate the cards. I'll be sure to link below everything that I'm using today, everything, because I do have a bunch of stencils here. As you can see, I got a whole bunch of die cuts here and my Gelli-plate, and I have a second Gelli-plate. By the way, this one's 4x6, and I have a 5x7 plate that I'm probably going to use from time to time off to the side just to mix my paints. Sometimes you can go straight from the tube onto your Gelli-plate, but sometimes you want to mix colors. And yes, you could do that on like a paper plate or some sort of palette off to the side. But the nice thing about actually mixing colors on a second Gelli-plate is you can pull prints from this one too. So if you're mixing and you like it and you go to roll some more over here, you still have some over here to work with and play with. So back to this one. How this one works is you would want to cut a bunch of 5x7 papers. And this is just like 65 pound. You could use copier paper. I know that I'm going to put these on card fronts, so I'm going to use the 65 pound. But if you cut it 5x7, you will have a perfect print right in the center every single time by using this little guide here, and you'll see me do it. Okay, so I have a bunch of those off to the side. I have done quite a few, just goofing around because I'm wanting to put some flowers. I'm sticking with some greens and blues and teals here for my backgrounds. Some are better than others, and there's a little bit of gold mixed in with quite a few of these, especially that one you can see. All kinds of reverse effects. We're going to try just a couple of, handful of different things here. Okay, so why die cuts? Well, I found that you can use all kinds of things, as we know, around the house, right? For blocking out areas that you want to make a print with. So die cuts are perfect. Because they're these wonderful shapes that someone's already designed for you, and you can just cut them out and lay them on your paint and then do your layer of paper on top of that. And then you can lift them up and get another print, as you'll see. I've cut all of these from different new flower dies. Again, I will link everything below. These are from Elizabeth Craft Designs, a lot of them. Some of them are my dies, so I'll call them out as we go through. But you can see where I've been playing with some. These have got paint all over them, and they're holding up great. It's like 100 pound, 108 pound, like Bristol kind of paper. So just a thick cardstock is going to work great for stencils or, block outs like this. You could try acetate, but honestly, I feel like this is holding up so much better. I did a few acetate ones and they were pretty flimsy. I'm going to start off to the side here, and I'm going to mix a lighter color of teal. This is aqua green, and I'm using all Liquitex paints unless I mention otherwise. I just got these at my local craft store, Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to grab a little bit of white, and we're going to tone down this teal over here. And of course you need some kind of brayer mixer. And I've got this little guy, which is a Gelli Arts brand brayer, but Speedball has them too. And I'm told to just, as I watch different YouTubers, just swirl that color together to mix it and see if you have what you like. And to me, that's still quite a little too deep of a teal, so I'm going to add a little more white there. And you can just mix this in for now, and then you can start rolling it out. But this is just my mixer over here. This is not the plate, the Gelli-plate I'm going to use. I'm just trying to get my color first. And that's a nice shade right there. So I'm going to move my little frame, and I'm going to come over here and put a nice light coat. This layer is my very base layer, so you want to work lighter to darker. And I'm going to put my little frame there and grab my paper and just line this up with the top and the left. And you can move it away, you can leave it there. I like to move it out of the way just so I have a lot of freedom with my hands to press this down. You can use your hands like this, or you can use, this is from Speedball. It's a little kind of stamp press kind of thing if you're carving your own stamps, but it works well here. So I'm just going to pull a base print like that for now. As I have so much of this color, I'm going to do another one. Might as well. And we could introduce just some streaks of white in there if we wanted, or some darker streaks. I can get many prints off of this paint that I've mixed over here. So I may add a little deeper color in the next couple just to see what we get. Okay, so you saw I line that up. And it's kind of important, I have found, even though it feels like it's right in the middle, it seems that there's just a little more space here. Maybe I was a little crooked. So I try to keep track of what's the top. Okay, when I peel it away, I don't peel it up this way, I peel it this way so that I know this is always the top. And that's important when you go back. So there's another, and that's the top. So I'll set that aside. And just for something different, let's go make this just a little bit lighter still. Add quite a bit of white. Come on. And there's a little bit of streaking. It's not like a solid color, which I like. I want to do that. So you see how you can see some of that white streaking through the blue, the teal. That's nice. Get my little frame in place. This is why you want to have a whole bunch of papers cut and ready to go, because you will fly through a big stack just to do your base layer like this. Peeled that one up without having the camera on. That's my favorite one. Look at, can you see the little streaks and irregularities as opposed to that really solid kind of look? I like that a lot better. So I'm going to do a couple more of those for sure, since I have all this paint. And we could even put a few striated lines of darker color. But like I said, when you're layering up and working with your jelly plate, you do want to start lighter, and you can always work up to darker as you build on these layers. All right, let's see how this one is. They're all just slightly different. The colors are starting to blend in a little bit more on this one. You saw a little more streaking on this one. Let's just goof around. We're going to add just a teeny tiny bit of this darker color. Just a drop. This is like a, oh golly, phthalocyanine green? I don't know how to say that. If you do, let me know. Ooh, okay. See, I'm just going to do that. I don't want to blend it, and I'm going to bring it over here. Ooh, this is going to be pretty, I think. It's a little dark for a base layer, but I think if we just make sure our subsequent layers after are even darker, then we're going to be okay. So let's get a print of this and see. Oh, that's nice. It's darker, but it's nice because you can see that variation in the color. I like that. Part of this whole process is finding enough space around you to lay all these pieces down to dry. Okay, I'm just going to kind of run my brayer onto a scrap sheet just to get a lot of that teal off. I'm not washing it in between. And what I want to do this time is, just so we're working with more than just one colored base, is I'm going to grab this light olive green and do a couple in this color. And you see I didn't clean my plate at all. I'm not going to put a ton of this because now I'm not mixing, I'm actually putting it straight to the plate. So just a thin coat. And then if I wanted to, I could add a little something to this. Let's see what happens if we bring some of this over. I don't know if we'll see that in the print or not. Let's just find out. This is very bright. We could tone down this green as well, but let's just do one this way and see. Woo, bright, bright, very bright. I can work with it. I can. I am going to add some yellow, leaving that on there, just a little tiny bit of yellow, just a little. And again, I want to clean off my brayer because it's got a lot of that bright green on it. So you just have to have some scraps off to the side. That's fun. Okay. It's going to be very yellowy. Do we want a little blue mixed in there? Let's try it. Yeah, just one little stripe like that. One little stroke. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, that one's fun. Still very bright yellow. But I think these are going to be good bases. You know, they're not meant to be subdued colors at all. Let's just see if we can get one more nice print out of what's left over here. Over here, I think we can. You can see this does not need to be heavy at all. But I do want to get a sense of other color moving in there. So a little bit of that white and that teal. Yeah, I wasn't very straight about that, but that's okay. Oof, super bright. Still got a little blue in it. All right, we're going to see if we can get that to work. Before I clean any of this up and move on to the next layer, I am going to take and just press down a piece on this whole big 5x7 jelly plate, because you can always use this part for something else, for die cuts. You know, just collaging, anything, or as a base for a bigger page. Yeah, see, look at all that. That's really nice. I like that. Okay, and you can take this to the sink and wash it, but I'm just going to use a baby wipe. My baby wipes are like for sensitive skin. There's no chemicals in them, so I don't think it hurts the jelly plate to clean it this way. You could spray it probably with water and just rub it with a paper towel. I'm not going to worry too much about this one over here, just kind of get the big chunks off. And I'm not sure if I'll be using this much anymore, so I may just put this aside for now. All right, now we're going to go back to one of these lighter colored ones that we started with, okay? And what I'm going to do is pick a color that's a little bit darker than this, but not super duper dark. So somewhere in the middle, right? So we are going to take this same teal, and instead of adding any white, we're just going to use this straight up. Mix it right here on the smaller jelly plate. A nice even coat. Okay, and then we're going to grab some die cuts. So let's go, I picked all these very large, open, they're going to block out quite a bit, kind of shapes. So like a big flower, another big flower. And we're going to place these right down. Let's go with the little smaller size. We have some leaves here. And another leaf down here. I cut several when I was doing all the die cuts. So I do have some smaller leaves I could work in, like here. And there's no rush on this step. It seems like you have plenty of time. I think I'll put this guy up here and this one here. Now, what you do have to worry about, and this would be good to put this in place before you start laying a lot of your die cuts, because you could bump these out of place if you try to do it after, like I just did. But I think it's going to be okay. Now, is there anything else? I have some other die cuts over here. I love these little swirly doos. These are from my Playful Flowers die set of mine. So I think I'll lay one there and there. And that's good. That's good for now. Okay, so now we're going to take this guy and we are going to line it up with our little frame, just like before, for this second layer. And I'll pull that out of there. Again, you can use that tool or you can use your hands like this and just kind of press. And so those big open places in the flowers and the leaves are going to let that lighter color base show through, but this whole rest of it is going to be that darker teal. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then we have this, which if you're quick enough, you can get this off of here. And I save all these. I'm just putting them off to the side. I'll use them again and again. But you see how I'm getting a little bit of a halo around all these little images. And if you work quickly enough, you can get these to transfer one more time onto another piece. Just carefully so don't smudge it all. But just that really cool design right there. So let's pick this super bright green and get that on there really quick. This is the super fun part about the Gelli-plate, is you just, every single time it's different. You don't know what you're going to get till you peel it, and it's just so fun. So hopefully we got a good image. Let's see. Sometimes it's not as good. Well, that's kind of cool though. Look at that. It's just a hint. It's not a perfect outline of everything, but it's really kind of nice on that bright greeny yellow background. And more layers to come, you know, that's pretty cool. We still have some paint over here on the brayer. Might as well just use it, right? We'll do it again. This time we'll pick a different background color. As long as it's lighter, that's all we care about. And get that frame on there first this time. This time we'll do some different flowers. These are like a daisy. These are fun. And I want to work quickly because that paint underneath was a little bit thin. So we've got all these flowers. We could add some fun little leaves. Here's a skinny leaf. Just kind of pop those in here and there. And I got nothing small to go in there, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm good. Okay, so let's grab this bright green background. Let's see what happens here. This is definitely a fun, painty, messy thing to do, but oh my gosh, it's addictive as all get out. Once you get going, you just want to keep printing and printing and printing and trying things and experimenting. It's super fun. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. It's not super defined, but it's kind of nice. And it sort of picked up some of those outlines that I had left on the plate from previous flowers. That's cool. All right, let's see if we can get anything off of this one. The paint is pretty dry, and based on what we saw earlier, I'm not sure I'm going to get much off of here, but we'll try. We'll see. Let's see, we'll pick this guy. It's just a little bit lighter in my frame. Not sure if we'll get anything. We'll see. That's the beauty of it. You just don't know. Not much. Okay. Hey, sometimes that happens. I'm just going to put some more of this olive green down here. Didn't even clean the plate. That's okay. And I really want to kind of thin that out a little bit so it's not too heavy and dark. Okay, so let's try just some leaves this time. Now, face down or up, does it matter? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to do them face up. The die cut itself is face up. And we have my fern here. Just kind of mix and match different leaves. This would be so pretty in a like a nature journal or something like that. We'll use just a little piece. Now see, I'm doing this here without my frame, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one and get my frame in there first. Because if you go to try to push your paper down and things are sticking up past the frame, that's not good. That doesn't work too well. And let's see, little something, just a little something here, and one more little leaf, maybe right there. Okay, so this time we're going to pick, let's see, we're going green. We'll go into this kind of darker teal. Get this lined up. Okay. I think I will grab this guy this time. Just really give it a press. Sometimes you have to be careful with doing this because it wants to shift your paper a little bit more than just with your hands. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. Love it. And I'm picking up on other stuff that was on there before. I just love that kind of thing. Let's try this. I'm going to take a little bit of that darker kind of teal color. I'm not even peeling up those die cuts. I'm gently going to roll this on. You have to be very gentle because it does definitely want to shift and move your little pieces. So if you're careful, it can be done. It's especially good to do on die cuts that have been laying in a layer of paint as opposed to just putting these on your jelly plate and trying to do it, because the paint from underneath is holding them kind of in place pretty well. Just tacking them down slightly. Okay, so it could be fun to pull a print right now. I'm tempted to, just to see what's going to happen. Am I going to get much? Let's try it. Let's try it. We're going to pull, let's see. Let's pull this lighter one. Let's just see. If I don't press very hard and I just get the surface very lightly, what will happen? Because the intention is to peel those up. Look at that. Okay, so I had a little boo-boo over here because I went past with my paint and my piece, but that is very doable. I would trim that out. That is cool. Oh, I love this. Okay, so now, do we need to put more paint down? Maybe just a little more paint. That same dark color, just so we get in the spaces a little more. Okay, pull all these up. I'm saving all of these. They will dry and they can be reused many, many times. Believe me, I've been doing it. And they're super fun to use later because you start to get all these layers and colors on your actual die cuts that you could use on your piece. Okay, so I see one little spot right there that left a lot of paint. So I'm just going to take, hope my hat's not in the way, I'm going to take my ball stylus and you can kind of scrub away a little bit of that paint if it's real thick in one spot. I saw someone do this on YouTube. Just kind of moved it right out of the way, cleaned it up. Okay, now let's pull a print of that. What color? This teal or this bright? I still have a very light teal over there. We could go with this bright. We've done quite a bit of that. Let's go with this one. This teal here. Ooh, or we could go right to this one. Should we do that? Let's do that. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a lot of print in one spot, but let's try it. Oh no. You don't know till you try. This could be just a crazy mess. Oh, that's kind of cool though. I like it. Oh, I like it. Do you guys like it? That's pretty cool. Now, we know that this is going to be very light to transfer, so we could do a little something and put another layer on this guy. It's not going to come up, I can tell, because I know what I know now. But let's try something a little bit darker. Oh, we're going to work in a little blue here. Primary blue, just a touch. And I could mix a little teal with it if I'm worried it's going to be too just super, super dark. And this is full of paint. That'll be all right. We'll see. I just love this. Like, I don't want to mix those. I just love having it be kind of blobby like that. Oh, that's cool. All right, we're going to stop there. All right, so we want to print onto here. What are we going to do? We have so many options. Okay, let's use some flourishes this time. Fancy flourishes. Again, get this guy in place. Okay, so we have that. We want that maybe down in this corner. That has a little gold paint on it. Okay, and then those little squiggly doos again are fun. And this piece here, we can just break that right in half and have that come in over here and maybe come down over here. Okay, that's okay. What else have I got? Have I got a little leaf I can play with? Got one of my playful leaves there from my playful flowers. And one more squiggly over here, I think. Okay, I'm excited about this one. I think this is going to be cool. Okay, we're going to take that one. It's super bright. And we're going to really get a nice dark blue layer on there. Oh, I love it. I love it because we do see a hint of that other stuff that was going on in there. Wow, that's pretty. These are very bold and bright compared to the ones I did yesterday. But I think it's going to be fun. All right, we'll throw that over there. I want to work with this. I want to make this work. So let's go fast and get this off of here. And try to get some of that to transfer onto another piece that we did. Because it seems like there's a lot of paint there. I think it's going to work. All right, we're going to take this teal one. Now we could go back to one of these, but let's do this. Let's do it and see. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm in love. This is so much fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I have some more paint here. It's that mix of those two, the darker blue and the teal. Let's go ahead. What are we going to do now? Okay, we've got one more of these. We've got a light one, and we've got a bright green one. Let's do the light one this time. And let's do some ferns, some blue ferns. Okay, again, get that in place. Squared up. And these are all cut just from cardstock. They were just leftovers from some green cardstock that I used for something. Let's see, I think I have to break this one just to get it to fit nicely with my little frame over here. Okay, and then let's use, I got this flower here, but I just want these little guys. Whoops. There. Oh, maybe the flowers would be cute. Like that? Why not? Why not? Something to see through a little bit more for the color. And then, oops, one more of these guys. This is pretty wet. Let me find a dry one here. Okay, light, light, light. I don't remember the top, but I think this was it. Line it up, take it away, give it a press. Crevices and really push because it's super thin and soft. Oh, that's very pretty. Very pretty. A lot of open space. Didn't get a lot of detail in there, but it's very pretty for a second layer. Okay, I don't think I can get anything off of that now. It's quite dry. I can tell by the way these are peeling up. It's not, the paint is not very wet anymore. So I'm going to clean that up. This is pretty dry. I can't use really more off of that. And we'll do just a couple more and then move on to the third layer. Okay, just for kicks, I did that same blue and then I went back with the olive green. This is very dark, but then very bright where that green is, as we know. And it's a little bit heavy, so I'm going to just take that down a little bit more. You could always pull a print just by itself if you feel like it's just too much paint on there, but I'm just going to do it off on this scrap over here. All right, let's do, I love this leaf. This is a pretty leaf. So I'm going to do a lot of those. I have a couple different sizes. And get this over here first. I got a couple more over here. Got this little guy. And as you see, I come off the edge a lot. I don't try to float right within. You know, not everything's right inside. So you definitely want to come off the edges. And we haven't used this fun little flower, but I want to stick with leaves, I think, on this one. So I think I'll put this one, oops, back in there. That's good. And then we need one or two more little guys here. We'll grab this piece that we had, and then, whoops, just a little skinny something right there. Do I have any more of those skinny little leaves? Yep, there's one. We'll just let this one float in there. Oops. All right, I'm not going to move it. That's not where I wanted it, but that's okay. Alrighty, so super dark teal or bright green. Let's do the bright green. I'm excited. Okay. Oh, wow. That's fun. That's different. Okay, cool. All right, I do have one more here, one more base. Let's see. Let's see if this is going to be wet enough to get much off of here again. Maybe not. It's a little wet, but I do feel like I'm not going to get a very good print just from that. I can try. I mean, you know, what would it hurt? You know what we could do? We could put down a little bit more of this paint. I wonder if we'll get it, still get some texture out of the print. I think I've just kind of subdued it all down. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do much. So you could do a couple of things here. Let's just switch gears and go back to, where's that blue? Get a little more of that blue, just a tiny bit. This always like puts a big blob down. Need better control. Okay, and what did I use? Oh, I used that teal. That olive. I think I'm going to use this teal. Just a little dab. Okay, get this out of the way. Yeah, we'll just start over with that. I didn't think that was going to do much. Now you could do all kinds of shapes, circles, a bunch of circles, a bunch of all kinds of things, whatever you can think of. I think I'm going to go back to some of these leaves. And this time I'll work in some of my funky florals, playful florals. They are funky. These are from my first release back in the spring last year. This one's from one of the flower dies. And then I've got some fun pieces over here. We could work in this guy. And that's from the stemmed flowers, that one. What else? I've got just a little bit more leaf. We could bring this in, or something a little bigger. This guy. Yeah. Okay. All right, this is our last one for layer 2. Hope you don't mind the experimentation. I'm having a great time. All right, let's see what we get. Oh, very cool. So you see the difference here, just in changing the shade of colors. Really cool. And then of course we have this guy that's very similar, just lighter colors. Very fun. Okay, I'm going to clean up and we're going to do layer 3. Let's do a little stencil layer. Okay, didn't even clean that off, don't even care. I grabbed this pretty stencil here, and I'm still going to use my little frame as I get some paint on here. And I think I want to do, I'm going to work on this one. So we need to go with maybe that dark tealy blue on there, I believe. Now I could mix off to the side on my other jelly plate to get that ideal color, but just for today, I think I'll just go ahead and go for this. All right, now I'm gently going to work this into the stencil. And some people might say, well, why don't you just go straight to your piece through your stencil? You can, but remember, we're trying to stay within that frame of our jelly plate frame, and this helps us to get it centered every time, as opposed to laying this on top of here and then getting a bunch of extra stuff where we don't want it, right? So we're going to peel this up, and we can definitely use this on something. So we'll hold on to that for a second. And look at how pretty that's going to be. And remember, we're going lighter to darker, that light middle blue, and now this darker teal blue is going to go next. Oh, that's kind of fun. It's not super, you know, it's not a transparent. It's partially semi-opaque. So you can buy paints that are a little more translucent and really see through those layers. But I'm pleased with that. That's kind of fun. So I'll just grab, I'm not going to put the frame in there. I'm just going to grab this and pull a print. See if I can get something off on here. And does it have to be on the jelly plate? Not really, but the cushion of the jelly plate helps you to get more of a transferred image. And I could use my bigger jelly plate for this, no doubt. But you know, there's something. That could be something. But that's why we have extra to kind of play with. Use up that extra paint. This time we'll introduce a little bit of gold. And I could use my non-stick craft sheet at this point. This is just, you know, Deco Art metallic kind of gold paint. I'm going to put a puddle of it up in here. And I grabbed just a cap to one of my spray bottles. Flatten out this little puddle a little bit. And as you can guess, we're going to make some little circles on our jelly plate. And circles are great because there's open spaces you can see through. You could do this with die cuts as well and make open circle die cuts. And I don't really need to dip it every time. You can get a little variation in the depth of the paint, the thickness. Okay, I think that'll be fun. Do a little there and there. Okay. The gold is just a nice little accent. I'm going to take this piece. I think that's going to look pretty on there. Flip her over, line her up. Oh, that's kind of fun. Now, see where it was kind of thick here and it blobbed out? So if you wanted perfect little circles, just go super thin with your paint. But this is kind of cool. You could use that again and again if you want. I feel like it's wet enough. But I am going to clean it in between this time. I'm going to use this mandala, kind of spring flower mandala stencil. A little bit of that darker teal again. Okay, this time we're going to use this piece. I don't know. We'll see. You just don't know. Be interesting. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, wow, that might be a favorite. I really like that one. Stencils are fun. I'm enjoying that. I'm going to do another one. Let's use this one. Same color. I haven't even put more. I might have to. We'll see. Just want to get enough in there. Yeah, I need just a little tiny bit more. And that was this guy, right? Maybe I'll put it right to the thingy. Why not? I don't know. Okay. We're going to do this one. Cool. Okay. Okay. All right, and I want to get some gold onto some of these other ones, and knowing that the gold is not like transparent at all, you have to be very careful. And so what I have learned is when I want to, am I going to have to clean this? Yes. When I want to get just a subtle gold like outline, I'll show you what we have to do. Okay, clean my brayer. Get a nice little layer of gold. I am going to go a little thick because I know what I need to have happen here. So I'm going to pick things that have skinnier little details to the dies rather than the big open flower kind of die. Okay, so that would be like these guys, right? And at this point, I don't need to worry about the frame. I'm just going to get some of these on here. And I'm going to pull a print just on my scrap paper. And I don't care about the frame. I'm just going to, whoops, just going to get this back on here. I don't know how it was, but I'm going to say hopefully close to that. Okay, doesn't matter. Just going to get a lot of that gold paint off of the background of the jelly plate. And of course we don't really need it on top of the die cuts. So, I mean, you know, there's that. But this is what we're after. This little subtle outline prettiness. And now we'll grab our frame and this guy, perhaps. Try to get a good print of that outline. I know it's usually really subtle. I'm looking at the one I did yesterday. And it's very subtle. It's there. It's very subtle. I want it to be a little more prominent. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a lot more prominent. That's kind of nice. Okay, cool. And I think I want to add a little bit of gold circles to this piece over here. Maybe I'll do them a little more spread out, not as many. I'm trying not to get too thick. I guess you could twirl it if you wanted a whole circle, not a partial. And here. Okay, try that. This is pretty thick right here. That's really going to blob out, but that's okay. So this is very dark. We want to break it up with some gold. Fun. I would definitely do something more to that. Okay. I put some yellow on here, and I've got this other color. It's sort of unbleached titanium. And this is very light, and I'm sitting here wondering what am I actually thinking I'm doing here, because I just said at the beginning you want to work light to dark, and now this is very light again. So I'm going to pull a base print while I have all this thick paint on here, just to get a different color introduced, this kind of creamy yellow. Okay, this is just a nice thick, wet background. It's a very pretty color. I would definitely use that again. Now, let's put a little bit more, whoopsie, a little more paint on here and do something with it. Go back in with some of these big flowers. Let's use some big stuff with open spaces, just so it's not too much. Find some more big flowers over here. And big leaves. Smaller leaf. All right, let's see what happens if we took something kind of dark like this one, because I'm not super fond of this one because of what I did over here, so it's a good one to experiment on. So let's just see what happens. Well, kind of fun. Now, if this had been a very transparent or translucent paint and you could see through, that would be pretty interesting. But to me, this is a little bit odd. Doesn't quite work. But let's see if we have enough time to get another print layer on something else with this yellow. Why not? Let's try it. I'm not super fond of this one. Why don't we try on this one? It could be fun. There's a lot going on this one. Oh, that's actually quite cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Wow. Makes you really guess, like, wow, what is going on? Cool. One more with the yellow. It's kind of fun. I want to do something to this now, knowing it could come out like that. Let's try it. Let's go back to flourishes. Because we already have big flowers and leaves going on here. Let's do something that has a lot of skinny space. Get this in place before we get too far. Oh, here's one. So I would tend to want to cut this because I just don't want it bumping up over the edge of my frame over here. Still might a little bit. I'm going to cut that. Okay. And this little guy down here. And this little swirly dude up here. All right, let's try that on here. Oh, wow. It's actually kind of cool, and I think it's because this is partially semi-opaque, and this is not, but I didn't use much of that. So, I mean, that is pretty darn cool, I have to say. Okay, let's just do one more. I could do this all day. So we have this one. It's pretty cool. It's these same pieces, pretty much, but now they're going to be in all different places. So wouldn't it be fun to try a really dark color over this? So what have I got? I've got this Payne's Gray, which is really dark. I'm scared. We don't want to use black. We could use blue, but this Payne's Gray is kind of a gray, blue, black. Let's test it on something here. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. It's kind of, oh, it's super dark, and I'm gonna do it in a little bit of the reverse again with the die cuts already on the plate this time, so we have to be so very careful. Okie dokie. I could pull a print, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna just peel this up very carefully. This is gonna be interesting. Oh boy. It's so dark. pretty cool too. There's a lot going on there, but that's pretty interesting. I have this yellow over here. Remember this very heavy, still kind of wet. Wonder what would happen. Do I have enough on here to do anything? Probably not. Let's just try it. Why not? This is really wet. I can feel it through the paper. Oh, ooh, look at. That's usable. I would use that. All right, to finish out, I'm just looking at my prints. This one we only did 2 layers to, I believe, and I like it. So I'm not going to put a 3rd layer. We just did this one. That's cool. This one and this one could use another layer, I think. This could, but I kind of like it. I think I'm going to leave it be. Again, I could do more to this one too, but I'm going to wait. This one I'm going to stop. It's kind of cool. I love this one. This might be my favorite one. And then we have this one. It could use another layer too, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to stop with that one too. Now the idea is, of course, if you were going to make a card, then this is 5 by 7. You could pop it right on a card front and you're done. It's a beautiful, you know, background for something you could stamp on or add something to. But I think what I want to do here, because there is a little gold in here, is I'm going to put a gold mat, which means I need to trim this down. Cut this down to 4.5 by 6.5 to fit in here, and just adhere that on. And I've cut out a whole bunch of words that I have run through the glimmer machine and then die cut also from the coordinating die. And I'm just gonna pop some phrases on my cards here. Happy birthday on this one. Since I'm using the gold in the card and as a mat, I did the gold on the glimmer machine as well. Okay, and that could be it for the card. It's a beautiful, classy card. It looks like a piece of art. It's really very nice. You could add flowers to this, but really I want that background to speak for itself. Okay, and that's it. I kept it very simple and popped up my little sentiments on my 5 by 7 cards. Here I added, just because this background was a little bit flat, I did add the flourish in some gold die cuts, and then I added leaves here and just white die cuts. So I have 5 beautiful cards ready to go. Easy, easy, and fun, super fun. And I have all this extra stuff left over from my experiments, and I can use these. I can use a lot of these in different ways on different projects even. Some may have to not make the cut, but you know, this was part of the process. Super fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a great time this afternoon. I really didn't want to stop, but I had to at some point. So if you are interested in doing it, just make sure you allot yourself plenty of playtime. You don't want to restrict yourself from all the fun. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next week in the next crafty video. Take care.